Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's class. Uh, this is a video lesson from English Essentials with IAK, and today we're going to study phrases, and I'm your host, Israr Ahmad Khan. I sometimes wonder, what are phrases? What are they called? What do they do? Are there different types of phrases? Have a look. A small group of words standing together as a conceptual unit. And this is the definition of a phrase. Look at this family. We have Mr. Noun phrase, Mrs. Verb phrase, gerund phrase, appositive phrase, participial phrase, infinitive phrase, absolute phrase, and prepositional phrase. So it's the phrase family, okay? Mr. Noun phrase says, I consist of a noun and all its modifiers. So the examples are, the bewildered tourist was lost. The bewildered tourist. The lost puppy was a wet and stinky dog. The lost puppy. The flu clinic had seen many cases of infectious disease. The flu clinic and infectious disease. It was a story as old as time. A story as old as time. The sports car drove the long and winding road. The sports car. Saturday became a cool, wet afternoon. Wet afternoon. Then we have Mrs. Verb phrase. She says, I consist of a verb and all its modifiers. And here are the examples. He was waiting for the rain to stop. Waiting for the rain to stop. She was upset when it didn't boil. Was upset. You have been sleeping for a long time. Have been sleeping. You might enjoy a message. Enjoy a message. He was eager to eat dinner. Eager to eat dinner. Okay, then we have preposition phrase. He says, I begin with a preposition and can act as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And here are the examples. The book was on the table. On the table. We camped by the brook. So by the brook. He knew it was over the rainbow. Over the rainbow. She lost in the dark of night. In the dark of night. He was between a rock and a hard place. Between a rock and a hard place. I waited for a while. For a while. She smelled of strawberries and cream. Of strawberries and cream. He won the challenge against all odds. Against all odds. Then we have gerund phrase. She says, I am simply a noun phrase that starts with a gerund. Watching TV is my favorite pastime. In this example, watching is a verb acting as a noun, which is a gerund. More specifically, it's the subject of the sentence. Here's another example. My favorite pastime is watching TV. Again, we have watching TV, watching as a verb, acting as a noun, Watching a verb acting as a noun. More specifically, it is the direct object of the verb is. So in this case, it is the object, not the subject. Then we have a positive phrase. She says, I restate and define a noun. I consist of one or more words. So here are the examples. My favorite pastime, needlepoint, surprises some people. My favorite pastime, needlepoint, same thing. Her horse, an Arabian, was her pride and joy. Her horse, an Arabian, talking about the same animal. My wife, the love of my life, is also my best friend. My wife, the love of my life, talking about the same person. A cheetah, the fastest land animal, can run 70 miles an hour. A cheetah, the fastest land animal, referring to the same animal. My idea, a recycling bin for the office, was accepted by the boss. My idea, a recycling bin for the office, talking about the same thing. And finally, the Florida panther, the state animal of Florida, is an endangered species. So the Florida panther, the state animal of Florida, talking about the same animal. Then we have the next slide. I begin master participial phrase. I begin with a past or present participle. Washed with my clothes. My cell phone no longer worked. So washed. Knowing what I know now, I wish I had never come here knowing. I'm really excited considering all the people that will be there considering. We are looking forward to the movie, having seen the trailer last week. Having seen. Grinning from ear to ear, she accepted her award. Grinning. The happy dog ran the entire length of the park, pausing only to sniff the dandelions. Pausing. Painted a brilliant white, the small room appeared bigger. Painted. The lake, frozen over all winter, was finally thawing. Frozen. Then we have another slide, infinitive phrase. So he says, I'm a noun phrase and I begin with an infinitive verb. To make lemonade, you have to start with lemons. To make. I tried to see the stage, but I was too short. Tried to see. She organized a boycott to make a statement. To make a statement. To see Niagara Falls is mind-blowing. To see. He really needs to get his priorities in order to get. The company decided to reduce hours for everyone to reduce. To donate time or money is an honorable thing. To donate. I went to Spain to study the language and culture. To study. Then we have the final slide, absolute phrase. I have a subject, but not an action verb, so I cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. I modify the whole sentence, not just a noun. So here are the examples. His tail between his legs. The dog walked out the door. His tail between his legs. is the absolute phrase. Picnic basket in hand, she set off for her date. Picnic basket in hand. The guys attacked the piles of nachos, their fingers getting the last bit of cheese off the plate. Their fingers getting the last bit of cheese off the plate. Their heads hanging down, the whole group apologized. Their heads hanging down. The entire team, their uniforms muddy and stained, shouted for help, shouted for joy. Their uniforms muddy and stained, shouted is the absolute phrase. So with this, we come to the end of today's lesson, and I thank you really. I really thank you for watching today's video from English Essentials with IAK, and I wish you all the best. So till then, it's goodbye from me.